All right, let's go ahead and jump in. Welcome, everybody. We're here for another great session of the winter webinar series. In fact, it is our final week taking place this week. And I am actually in a hotel room here in Phoenix, Arizona, because we've got a half-day session starting in about 20 minutes. So good news is I'm not running today's session. Justin is, because it's all about the new methods of actually getting results at the door. And you know what's so fascinating to me, and Justin, I'm sure you can appreciate this too, is you know uh, door knocking 10 to 15 years ago. You would walk up to someone's front door and you do one of these, like, oh, gross, what is that? Ugh. It was cobwebs you would walk through because nobody checked their front door back then. And so today, what's so fascinating to me in 2023 going into 2024, we have more people answering the door today than we've seen in my entire career. In 21 years of doing this, the answer rates are higher than I've ever seen. It used to be for years and years that 1 out of every 4 people would answer their door. 1 out of 4 is what we worked off of. Today, it's 1 out of 3, and it's probably getting better. And people are like, well, why is it getting better? Well, think about it for a second. People regularly check their front door today more than they ever have. And also, people are more likely to open their door for complete strangers today than they ever had. Yeah, thanks to Amazon. That's right. So anyways, we're excited to jump into today's topic. When you're chatting today, do me a favor on the chat box at the bottom where it says chat. If you're going to be chatting with us, which I encourage you do, switch where it says to hosts and panelists, switch that to everyone so everyone can see your comments. So speaking of everyone, before you type, change it to everyone when you click on chat. We want to see where you're joining us from today. So go ahead and throw in the chat where you're joining us from, city, state, province. If you're a first timer, make sure you let us know that you're a first timer. Hey, just say first timer here from Canada, first timer here from Cincinnati, right? Just go ahead and throw that in there. Great to see everyone chiming in. Ontario, first timer. All right, right across the river from us there. Huntsville, Alabama. Good to see you, Lisa. Welcome, welcome, welcome. All right, Omaha's in the house. Love it, love it. Well, listen, we'll go ahead and jump in while you guys are doing that. We're so excited for today's topic, and we have the master, the prospecting bootcamp leader himself, the one that really started it all from a standpoint of teaching prospecting at a high level with Glover U. In fact, for those that are not familiar, Justin not only started as a brand new rookie on our team, listed and sold over 100 houses in his first calendar year, all from prospecting. I think that qualifies alone to teach this class. Then he later on became our leader of our inside sales associate team. And now, of course, he has a successful business of his own, as well as he leads our prospecting bootcamp, one of the original and most popular. I think more students have gone through prospecting bootcamp than any other program that we have. I'm going to switch this over to Justin here in a second. Before we do, I see all the great first timers joining us. Thank you everyone for being on and taking a chance on us. Do me a favor. If you don't currently have the daily message received that you're receiving daily, we've changed it to an app and an email. So if you're not currently receiving this daily message, so every Monday, every Tuesday, every Wednesday, every Thursday, every Friday, I'm writing a daily message specifically designed to help you list and sell more homes. If you're not receiving it and you want access to the daily message, A, and B, if you are receiving it and you want access to all of our free resources, I encourage you to download the Glover U app. So, we heard you loud and clear. A lot of these webinars, we spend like 10 minutes sharing a bunch of free resources. We decided, thanks to our marketing director, Alana just said, let's put them all in one place. So instead of sharing all these different .coms and all these other things, we're going to put them all in one place. And so we put them in the Glover U app. If you're not familiar, open up your app store right now. I'll show you how to get it. Go ahead and open up your app store right now. And once that opens up, you're going to search Glover space, the letter U. That's Glover space, the letter U. And it might pull up 2 apps. One is an events app. Don't download that one. You don't need that one yet. Download just the Glover U app. Every single one of our free resources. I mean, we probably give away more stuff than we've ever charged for. All of our scripts, everything is in that app. And also, when you download the app, it will subscribe you to the daily message, which you'll receive either as a notification through the app if you wish, or you'll receive through email. Every day I'm writing a message specifically designed to help you list and sell more homes. And I'm excited to have all of you guys join us in the Glover U app for all of our free resources. But we're going to pass it over to Justin here in a second, because this particular topic, as I mentioned in the beginning, listen, I was never a big fan of door knocking. In fact, a lot of you don't know this, but it was actually a penalty. My very first real estate coach that I hired, when I was having some success over the phones with expireds and for sale by owners, I was listing probably 6, 8 a month. He said, Jeff, what are you doing with all the people that don't answer their phones? So, well, I don't know. I guess I just move on. He said, no, you got to go see them at their doors. And so back then, door knocking, while it was effective for me, because I always picked up a couple, 3 extra listings per month from it, what I'm so excited about today's topic is now more than ever, it's actually more effective. It's amazing to me how technology has advanced, yet one of the most traditional techniques ever is actually more effective today than it's ever been. And we've got the one and only Justin Ford here to talk to us about the latest and greatest door knocking techniques, the modern way of prospect, because it's not just cold calling, right? Everyone thinks prospecting means cold calling. That's not the case at all. So, Justin, before I hand it over to you, I see they dropped the workbook in the chat. Make sure everyone gets their hands on that workbook because there's a bunch of good stuff in there. Our free resources are listed in there as well. So go ahead and download that workbook so you have it and you can follow along with us. And Justin, I'm going to get downstairs because I got a group of 100 agents here in Phoenix, or 120 agents here in Phoenix, that are looking to put together their top producer business plan. I'm going to get downstairs and let you take it away. And I know they're in great hands with Justin. Justin, I could go on and on, but listen, you're in great hands with Justin. Justin, take it away, my friend.
Thanks, Jeff. Guys, super excited to be here today. And like Jeff said, we have been doing these webinar series for one reason and one reason only. That's to equip you with the different ways to be able to do more business going into 2024. And like Jeff said, when we think of prospecting, a lot of times we think of just picking up the phone and making phone calls, and yet prospecting is so much more than just making phone calls. And so we're going to talk a lot about that today. But before I get into it, for those of you guys that don't know me, my name is Justin Ford. I've been a coach here at Glover U now for 4 years. I've been listing and selling real estate and on the ground with you for the last 10 years. I've been in the industry for 18 years, got into the industry back when I was 22 in the mortgage business. And so for my whole adult career, I'm 41 now. This is all I know. And so I've been through the ups and downs of this industry over the last 18 years. And so for those of you guys that have been in the business for the last 10 years or less, if that's you, if you've been in the business for 10 years or less, drop a 777 in the chat for me. If you've been in the business for the last 10 years, drop a 777 in the chat. So many of you have been in the business for the last 10 years. And so all we've really known, right? All we've really known is a great market. And so for those of you guys that have been in the business for the last 10 years and let's say only know a great market, I want to just let you know that we're going to get through the shift, right? A lot of people have gotten out of the business over the last 12 months because the market has shifted. It is a lot tougher to do real estate today than it was 12 months ago. But the good news is I survived 2008, when the market completely crashed and, we had one of the worst housing, crashes and housing markets in the history of our economy. This is when Jeff started his team back in, 2005. And so, be encouraged. And I'm excited that all of you have made the decision to be here today because you want to invest into your business going into 2024. And so join Jeff's team back 10 years ago, as he mentioned. So in 2013, when I got my real estate license, I said, you know what, in order to be the best, you got to learn from the best. And, Jeff and I were basically from the same town. Joined his team back in 2013. And I asked Jeff, I said, Jeff, I have big goals. I want to sell a lot of homes. How do I do it? And Jeff laid out a plan of action for me to get out there and sell 100 homes my first year in the business. And it was all primarily listing based. And so I know we have a lot of people on this webinar who work listings. We also have a lot of people on this webinar who work buyers. And the good news is you can work both. But I'll encourage you that listings create leverage, right? They give you the ability to have time to be able to work with more clients. And that's what Jeff taught me early on. And so today we're going to talk about door knocking. And obviously, door knocking is a form of prospecting. And so when people think of the word prospecting, like Jeff said just a few minutes ago, you think of picking up the phone and making phone calls. And we understand that most people don't want to do that. But the definition or what prospecting ultimately means, and if you're taking notes, I want you guys to write this down, because when you hear the word prospecting from today forward, I want you to think of what I'm about to say. Prospecting is the first step in the sales process. Prospecting is the first step in the sales process. And what is the purpose of prospecting? To add people to our database in hopes of converting them into a client to buy or sell a house with us. That's what prospecting is. And there is a lot of different ways to prospect. And if you've been through my prospecting boot camp, we share all the different ways on how to prospect. And so picking up the phone is just one form of prospecting. But when you look at your business, and if you've done your business plan, and if you haven't yet, if you're working on it, when you look at all of your sources of business for 2023, it might be your database. It might be expireds. It might be for sale by owners. It might be circle prospecting, social media. There's a lot of different ways that we get business. And guess what, guys? It all starts with prospecting. Why? Because prospecting is the first step in the sales process. So we all prospect. You might not think, well, I don't prospect. Well, you do prospect. You just don't call it prospecting. Prospecting is the first step in the sales process. And so, again, there's a lot of different ways to prospect. But today, we're going to talk about door knocking. And I got some questions, because when the advertisement of this this webinar went out, that the door knocking is the new black. What does that mean? New black. Black means profit, right? When you think of running a business, you're either in the red or the black, and everybody wants to be in the black. And so, when we talk about prospecting, right? When we talk about going out and getting new business, we know that we're right here at the end of 2023. It's over, right? Yeah, we're going to finish up with some closings, and we're going to, the holidays are next week. So what do we do from here? Well, every one of us should really be thinking about 2024. So as we're sitting here thinking about what are our goals, what do we want to accomplish in 2024, we have to have some form of regular prospecting in our schedule and in our routine. So I want you to think about this. For those of you that are on this webinar right now, okay, and let's say you did not hit your goal in 2023, or you didn't make the amount of money that you want to make, or your pipeline right now is kind of dry and you're really not happy with where your business is, I want you to write this down. I have the answer for you. So 2024 can be different than 2023. Here's the answer for everybody that wants to make more money in 2024 and you want to do more deals in 2024 than you did in 2023. Write this down. Here's the answer. We have to talk to more people. We have to talk to more people about real estate. That's what prospecting is. Prospecting is having conversations with people about buying or selling a house. And again, there's a lot of different ways to do that, and door knocking is one of them. So I want to start by saying this. If you want to sell more homes in 2024, you're going to have more conversations with people about real estate in 2024 than you did in 2023. And you're going to have to pick a source, a primary source. Doesn't mean it's your only source, but you're going to have to pick a primary source that you're going to commit to working every day in order to have more conversations with people. Oftentimes people think, well, Justin, how did you sell 100 homes your first year in the business? How'd you take 30 listings your first month in the business? I said, I talked to a lot of people. And yes, the majority of them told me no. But when you get through enough no's, you're going to find a yes. That's prospecting, okay? So write this down. We're going to start by talking about what are the goals? What are the 3 goals of door knocking? I want you to write these down, okay? These are the 3 goals of door knocking. So when you consider why should I door knock, or why should door knocking be a part of my daily routine? Number 1, the first goal is to get immediate business, okay? To get immediate business. And we're going to talk about how to do that today. Door knocking is not something that you have to go out and do and wait for a deal. There are ways and certain contacts through door knocking that you can get out and get a now deal. Some of them do take longer. I'm going to break down all the different ways to door knock and all the different types of people to door knock here on today's session. Number 2, the purpose of it is to get referral business. Get referral business, okay? What do I mean by that? Well, when you knock on someone's door, we're going to give you this access to the scripts today, and you say, who do you know that's looking to buy or sell a home here in your neighborhood? Or who do you know that's looking to take advantage of the market right now? They're going to say, well, hey, my neighbor, my friend, my family. So that's what we mean by get referral business. Somebody's referring you to somebody they know looking to buy or sell a home. And number three, get future business. Okay. Get future business. So when you think about door knocking, we should think about these three goals. Number one, get immediate business. Number two, get referral business. And number three, get future business, meaning building a database or adding people to a Facebook group that you can connect with. Okay. I want to give you some pros and some cons, right? Because you might be saying, well, Justin, that sounds good. What about what are the advantages and disadvantages of door knocking? Okay. So I'm going to give you some pros and some cons, and then I'm going to tell you why we should really consider door knocking in today's market. Okay. All right, so here's some pros. Again, if you're writing these down, I highly recommend you taking notes. And so I want to give you some pros. What are some pros? Well, it's face-to-face. When I coached Jeff's agents, I became, Jeff's top selling agent in the office for homes sold. I was promoted to inside sales manager. And so I trained and coached all of the new agents coming in to Jeff's team when I was there. And I remember, and some of you guys might say this, because it might relate to what I'm about to say might relate to you, is oftentimes I would hear people say, I don't like making calls, but I'm better face to face. And so if that's you, if you don't like making calls, but you say, I'm better face to face, then door knocking is for you. Why? Because you get face to face, you knock on somebody's door, and when they open the door and you're better face to face, you have an opportunity, right? The other thing too is the person that opens the door looks at you like you're hardworking, right? It's a hardworking perception, like, wow, this guy or gal is out here knocking on doors. They must be a hard worker. So if I'm thinking about, selling my house or buying my house, buying a house, what does a prospect want? They want to work with a hardworking agent. And then another pro when it comes to door knocking is more people are answering today than before. More people are answering today than before. And then also there's less rejection. So for those of you guys that don't like rejection, most people don't like rejection. That is normal. So if you feel that, you're not the only one. Most people do not like rejection. So there's a lot less rejection when you open the door. Somebody is not going to, like, I won't say somebody won't cuss you out at the door because we've seen it happen, but they're a lot less likely to cuss you out and tell you you're the scum of the earth and go to hell, go get a real job. Those are things you hear on the phone. For those of you guys that make phone calls, that you hear those things. It's a lot less rejection and a lot less likely that somebody's going to treat you that way at the door. Now, Justin, you shared some pros. What about the cons? Here we go. Here's some cons, right? A lot of times for those, especially that make phone calls like myself, my team, Jeff's team, and many of you think, well, man, like I can pick up the phone and I can talk to 8 to 10 people per hour. Going to the door is less efficient than phone prospecting. What do I mean by that? Well, if you go knock on the door, it's going to take a lot longer, right? Or it's going to take more door knocks to get more contacts. For example, again, when you're on the phone, you can talk to usually 8 to 10 people, what we call contacts per hour. Every 1 hour at the door is a little bit, it could be a little bit less, and you're walking, right? So you're going door to door. It's going to take you, a little bit longer for people to answer the door. But when people answer the door, the conversations that you're having are actually a lot more quality than a lot of times when you're picking up the phone. The other thing too is, when it comes to door knocking, depending on where you are in the country, normally I'm dressed in a suit. Forgive me, I'm actually out of the country right now on vacation with my family, and so I'm just wearing a shirt here. But depending on where you are in the country, it might be hot. Like for those of you guys that are in Arizona or Las Vegas or Florida or Texas in the summer, man, it gets crazy temperatures out there. So you might be saying, well, why in the world would I go out and door knock, in that type of heat? Or if you're from Michigan, like Jeff and I, or you're in a more Midwest or Northern or East Coast, Northern East Coast area, you might be, can't go out and door knock in the snow, right? So there's pros and cons, guys. But I want to just kind of cover some reasons on why door knocking should be a thing here. Okay. So why do we door knock? So I want you to write this down in your notes. Why do we door knock? Okay. Why do we door knock? Okay. Now, even though I said it might take a little more doors to knock on to get your contacts in, or more time, I should have said more time to get your contacts in. Why should we door knock? Here's a great reason why. Number one is because when done at the right time of the day, you can actually get a higher answer ratio than on the phones. Okay. It might take a little bit longer, but you're going to a lot of times get a higher answer ratio, meaning, when you're knocking on the door, and I'm going to give you some great times to do that. You got to obviously look at the market that you're in to determine, and I'm going to give you some examples on some ways to kind of know. But when you're knocking on the door, I'll just use mine for example. Saturday mornings are a great time to knock on the door, and we usually go out from 10 to noon. Okay, 10 to noon. Why? Because a lot of people are home on Saturday mornings. A lot of people are, relaxing. They're starting their weekend. They're out in the yard doing yard work. They're home. If you're going to door knock, depending on the market that you're in, you might want to door knock even in the evening during the week when people are home. So depending on what time you knock and what time you actually go out, you might get a higher answer ratio than on the phone. So for those of you guys that are looking to, let's say, talk to more people, door knocking may be an option. Number two, I mentioned this a little bit earlier. We door knock because people are warmer and more friendly when they are face to face. I touched on this a little bit, right? All the rejection that you get on the phone, you're not really going to get a lot of that when you are door knocking. People are more friendly. There are still, a few whack jobs out there that'll still cuss you out and tell you to get off their porch. I actually had one of those recently, door knocking, which I'll share a couple of stories with you. But overall, it wasn't too bad, right? And then number three, we door knock because, and this is a good one, especially for those of you that feel, well, why should I call? Right? Why should I call in my markets? It's everybody's calling. It's oversaturated. Why should I call? And the reason why is because nobody else is really door knocking in your area. In most markets, getting an agent to pick up the phone is hard enough, let alone to get an agent to go knock on the door. And so if you're looking to kind of have an edge on your competition in your local market or in your community, door knocking is a great way to get out in front of your competition. Now, a lot of times people ask again, what are the optimal days? What are the optimal times? So if you're going to door knock during the week, I want to give you some optimal times. Okay. I kind of shared the optimal time for you on Saturday. I would say 10 to 12 is a great time, 9 to 12, 10 to 12, 10 to 1, depending on how many hours you're going to go out and do it. But we study this stuff, right? We have a whole team, we work with agents all over the country. Many of you we work with, so we get the feedback of what times work. When do we see the most, results? And so if you're going to do it during the week, depending on where you are, 3:30 to 5:30, 5:30 to 6:30, you want to knock when either moms are getting home with their kids from school, or kids are getting home and moms are home or dads are home, or when people are just getting home from work, right? This is the perfect time to knock on the door. The optimal days that we've found during the week are Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Okay, so Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday are great days to door knock. And then again, I highly recommend knocking on the weekends because people are home. People are home. And so when my team and I door knock, which we do on a regular basis, we go out on Saturday mornings. And I'm going to share some examples of that with you guys here in a moment. Now, what are some of the expectations as far as contacts to conversion ratio? So I want you to write this down as well, okay? So the expectations or the standard should be for every 10 knocks, you get 3 contacts. For every 10 knocks, you get 3 contacts. And so this is what I mean by it. If you're looking to get a certain amount of contacts in per day, you might have to knock on more doors than you would if you were making calls. But the ratio to be able to connect with people and the conversations that you're going to have are going to be more efficient and a lot better. Okay. So again, write this down: is for every 10 doors that you knock on, 3 people should answer. Okay. That's the average. And it's been tried and true for us, obviously for Jeff's team as well, for, a long time. So again, we study these ratios, we look at the numbers, because if we're going to teach it, we want to teach the most effective way to do it. Okay. Now, I want to give you these are best practices. So I'm going to give you guys 13 best practices when door knocking. And then I want to tell you who to door knock. And I want to give you a couple of examples how it's working for our team. Okay. So here are 13 best practices when it comes to door knocking. Okay. So you're out door knocking, and you might say, well, who do I door knock? So before I give you the best practices, I'll tell you who you can door knock. Well, there's a lot of different ways that you could door knock. Number one is expireds. In every market, almost all across the country, there are homes expiring coming off the market. You can go through your daily expireds and you can pick and choose which ones you want to go door knock. And so we call a pretty big area. My team, we call, an hour and a half out for listings. Obviously, if we have 25 expireds today, there's no way you're going to go knock on 25 expireds within an hour and a half radius. It would not be effective or efficient. So we don't recommend that with expireds. Even for sale by owners, we recommend look at your daily expireds and for sale by owners, and maybe you have a specific area that you like to do business in, or a specific price range. Okay. You can go out and knock expireds, and you can go out and knock for sale by owners. Okay. I highly recommend it, because you're going to have a better time of converting an expired or for sale by owner if they open the door than 100 people, making phone calls. And for example, I said this earlier, if somebody's getting blown up, let's say on expireds and for sale by owner calls, and then you show up at the door and you're the only one that has shown up at the door, and yet they've had 100 people calling, that's going to give you a one up. Think about that. Oh my gosh, this guy or gal actually drove to my house and knocked on the door, not just made a phone call. Okay. So expireds and for sale by owners are a great source to knock. Okay. Another great source: just listed, just sold. Okay. Just listed, just sold. So let's say you put a home on the market, you just listed it. You can actually get out there and knock the area around that listing. Okay. You can knock that area around the listing. And what we usually recommend is you can go like 15 doors to the right, 15 doors to the left, and 15 doors across the street, or you can do the whole area, depending on how much time that you want to spend doing it. The goal is just to be consistent. Like any type of prospecting, guys, it's all about consistency. If you do it consistently, the results will show up. You cannot expect to go out and door knock one time, get no results, and say, that didn't work. Everything is about consistently, whether you're picking up the phone, whether you're door knocking, social media, database, everything that we teach here at Glover U has to be consistent, just like anything in life. Okay. Now, so just listed, just sold. Let's say you put a home under contract. Let's say you're working with a buyer or you're working with a seller and they go under contract. Okay. You can actually go out and door knock around that sale and let them know, hey, I'm not sure if you're aware of this or not, but we just put your, neighbor's home under contract over at 123 Main Street. And anytime a home goes under contract, one or two normally come on the market. So my question to you is, who do you know that's looking to buy or sell a home? Okay. It's real simple. It's not like you're there to give them this huge sales pitch and convince them that they should list their home with you. You're just letting them know their market. Okay. Sorry, I'm on my phone here. My computer wasn't working. Anytime a phone rings, it muted. So hopefully you guys can still hear me. All right. So another good one. Now, rates have started to come down. Okay. We've already started to see, multiple offers again. Buyers are getting out there And what we're hearing is rates are going to come down even more in 2024. So for those of you that have been working with buyers, this is a great form of door knocking. And I really want you guys to write this down. And I'm going to give you guys a basic script that you can use. And then we're going to give you access to our script book here in a moment. And so for those of you guys that work with buyers, we know over the last several years, it's been super tough. Multiple offers, over asking price, appraisal guarantee, waiving inspections, all this stuff. And guess what? Offer still not accepted. It's frustrating. And a lot of buyers were frustrated and a lot of buyers threw in the towel. So here is another form of door knocking when you're working with buyers. Let's say you make an offer on a house, it doesn't get accepted. Your buyer loves the neighborhood, wants to be in the neighborhood, and here's what you do. Rather than waiting for the next listing to come on the market, I want you to take your signed offer, literally. So let's say this is your offer, right? You've got your signed offer in hand. I want you to go knock on 10 doors to the left, 10 doors to the right, and 10 doors across the street. And I want you to knock on the door. I want you to show up and say, hi, my name is Justin with ABC Real Estate. And I don't know if you knew this or not, but your neighbor just sold their home down the street with multiple offers, and you're holding the offer in your hand. And, I have a ready, willing, and able buyer who just made an offer on the house down the street. Unfortunately, their offer didn't get accepted, but my buyer really wants to be in the neighborhood and they're willing to pay top dollar. Who do you know that's looking to take advantage of this hot seller's market? I'll say that again. Your buyer didn't get their offer accepted. They're frustrated. Okay. Rather than you just kind of like waiting for the next home to come on the market, or you're waiting for, to take them to see another house, you knock on the door and you go down the street, right? You go down the street and you have the offer in your hand and it's signed, and they're going to be like, how much more did they pay for that house? And what kind of house are they looking for? So think about that. 10 doors to the right, 10 doors to the left. You can go 20 doors to the right, 20 doors to the left. You can go 20 doors across the street. What are you doing? One, you're showing your buyer that you're working hard to get their offer, get them a house. Number two, you're probably going to pick up a potential client or two doing that. We've had testimonials of people through the Prospecting Bootcamp and other people within Glover U who have done this, who are like, oh my gosh, I just got my buyer a house down the street because they were thinking about selling, but they weren't ready yet. But because my buyer was willing to come in strong, they took our offer. You could potentially double dip the deal. There's a lot of different ways, guys, to go out and get in front of people. And remember, the goal of door knocking is to get now business. Okay. Now, one of the other things that you can do is, we had, for those of you guys that come to our events, we actually have an event coming up next month in Phoenix. We're super excited about it. We just had one back in June up in Traverse City called the Live Unreal Retreat. And I had the opportunity to host a mastermind breakout for door knocking. And so what we did in that session was we had a group of people that came together and we masterminded, and everybody talked about what they're doing for door knocking and how it was effective. This was huge. And if you guys take this away, this is like doing something great in my business, and I hope it does for yours as well. Watch this. This is huge. And so the lady stands up at the table and she says, one of the things that we learned today at our table was rather than going out and door knocking and just asking for business, this lady said, my team and I partnered with a local charity, and we had these bags created with our logo on it and the charity's logo on it. And we went around and we knocked on 500 doors, and we brought these bags with a little note in there, and we just knocked on doors. We didn't ask who that's looking to buy or sell. We put some information in the bag and we just said, hey, we are doing a soup drive or a canned food drive with the local charity down the street. And, we'd love for you to participate. Here's the bag. Here's the dates. You can drop it off at our office, or if you want us to come by and pick it up, we can. Just call this number. I'm like, that's genius. And so this past summer, we're like, you know what? let's find a local charity in our local market. We found the United Way. And so in August, me and my team went out and knocked on 500 doors in our local market. We partnered with our local lender and we partnered with the United Way. And we went and knocked on 500 doors and we passed out these certificates with a letter in it for school supplies. Okay, we teach here at Glover U, we teach hybrid farming. Here's another great way that you can door knock: hybrid farming, where you do something for 12 months consistently to get in front of people so that you create awareness so that when they do want to buy or sell, they think of you. So we go out in August and we knock on 500 doors and we're saying, hey, we've partnered with the United Way. We've got a box at our office. We'd love for you to bring school supplies, right? Tons of people open the door. People are like, yes, we're going to bring school supplies by your office. And about 3 or 4 people did. Okay. I didn't expect 100 people to show up. I learned through Jeff teaching me that this takes time. Great. We get the school supplies, we take a picture, and then the next month we do a postcard to the same 500 houses and say, thank you for participating in the back to school supply drive with United Way. What we did in November last month, okay, so we knock once a quarter. And so we went last month for hats for the homeless. Same 500 homes, same envelope, just hats for the homeless now. Same information in there, a letter with us in the United Way, postcard with our business. Hey, if scan this QR code if you want to know what your home is worth, scan this QR code if you want to buy a house. And we just put it in the envelope. We never talk about if they want to buy or sell. Guys, 25 people came by the office and dropped off hats for the homeless. We went from 3 or 4 to 25. Why? Because of awareness. Okay. Because of awareness. Now, we haven't asked for any business yet, but if you want to just get out into your local community, yeah, somebody's asking if I mind sharing what the flyer looked like. If you find me through Glover U or find me on social media and you reach out to me, I'll share it with you. No problem. But this is just a great way to get out into your local community, to give back and to door knock without feeling overwhelmed of that somebody, you're just trying to sell somebody. So there's a lot of different ways to door knock. And one of them, I believe, is go out into your community, partner with a local charity, and give back and create awareness. But you got to do it consistently, okay? So when we think of who do we door knock? Expireds, for sale by owners, just listed, just sold, the hot buyer, no inventory, which I just shared with you, and then also hybrid farming, okay? I want to give you guys these 13 best practices for door knocking. So write these down. Number 1, when you're out and you're picking one of these sources that I just shared with you, park and walk up to the door with confidence. Now, I'm not saying you drive from house to house. Park somewhere in the sub. Okay, you want to make sure that you're not knocking on, like one time I went into a no soliciting community and they definitely ran me out of there. But most standard neighborhoods are not going to be no soliciting. So park and walk up to the door with confidence. What I always say is have a team shirt on. We have team shirts with our logo. You want to maybe have a name badge, something that shows that you're a professional and you're not there to like take advantage of them or try to scam them, but you have something to show that you're a real estate agent who you're with. Number 2, have a folder, a clipboard, or something in hand so you look prepared. Okay. Have a folder, a clipboard, or something in hand so that you look prepared. You don't want to just look like you're walking up to their house with nothing in hand. It looks kind of sketch, right? So you want to make sure that you actually have something in your hand and you're showing up and you look prepared, okay? Number 3, dress professionally. They're judging you. Again, have a name tag or something company branded on so that when you show up, that they know that you're there for a reason. Number 4, this is a good one. Once you knock on the door, take 3 steps back. Turn your body so you are not facing the door directly. Stand on the side of the door when it opens. Like you want to step back so they don't feel like you're, again, there to do anything funny. So when somebody opens the door, okay, number 5, smile when you introduce yourself and then go into your script. Here's what I first say when they open the door. Yeah, hi, my name is Justin Ford. I'm with ABC Real Estate here. I'm not here to sell you anything. And then I go into the script, okay? Hi, my name is Justin Ford with ABC, and I point at my shirt, ABC Realty. I'm not here to sell you anything. So I do it like that. I'm not here to sell you anything because I don't want them to feel like I'm there to sell them anything. I even do that when we do the the door knocking thing that I just shared with our team, when we're just giving out envelopes, because people think you're there to sell them something. Okay. Number 5, smile when you introduce yourself, go into the script. Number 6, once they open the door, again, go into the introduction like I just shared, and share with them why you're there. So maybe you're there because you're partnered with the United Way doing a back to school drive. Maybe you're there because you just sold the neighbor's home down the street. Maybe you're there because, like I said earlier, you had an offer that didn't get accepted, and you have that in your hand. You want to be prepared and ready so that when they open their door, you go right into it. Okay. Number 7, if they are standoffish, some people are. I'm just the neighborhood realtor, and one of your neighbors just listed, and I wanted to share with you the details of the home, right? Play to the nosy neighbor card. Okay. You're just letting people know what's going on in the neighborhood. You're not there to sell them anything. And a lot of times people feel less threatened. Okay. Number 8. Okay. We don't welcome solicitors at our door objection. Okay. So we don't handle solicitors. Here's what you say. Okay. Because I saw somebody post that in the comments earlier. I'm not here to sell you anything, because what does a solicitor do? Okay. I'm not here to sell you anything. Okay. So we're not there to sell them anything. I'm just your local neighborhood realtor. Your neighbor just went on the market, and I want to share with you what they're doing. That's it. Okay. Should be very non-threatening. Again, you might get some people who are a little angry, right? Because there are people that are just angry in life. It doesn't matter what you're knocking on the door for. They can run into you at the supermarket. They're just angry people. Okay. Number 9, what do you do if they don't answer? Ring the doorbell and knock on the door. Ring the doorbell and knock on the door. If they do not answer, but the Ring camera goes off, leave a message through the camera as to if you were talking to them on the phone. Okay. Because I have a Ring camera on my porch. Most people do nowadays. So people see you, they get notified, and some people don't want to answer. But if you hear it go off, then again, you can leave a message on there as if you were making phone calls. Okay. Number 10, if they do not answer, you want to leave some type of material behind. So when my team and I are knocking on the door, we leave this big envelope with information in it, and we stick it either in the door or we leave it on the porch. Okay. Never put anything in the mailbox. Okay. And so you want to leave something behind. Front and back flyers are good. Front side, for instance, if you just sold a home, because you're doing just listed, you want to have some type of flyer that gives the information on the just listed. If you just sold a home, you want to give information on the sale that just sold. And maybe you're just farming an area and you're letting people know what homes are worth in the area. You want to be able to give them something of value. You want to be able to, QR codes are great. We put a QR code on our postcard, scan here to find out what your home's worth, scan here, for the hottest homes in the area. Then it takes them right to our website. So we give them calls to action on there. Okay. Number 11, stopping by to let you know. Okay. Hey, I'm just stopping by to let you know. Then follow the just listed script. Then add and have you join the neighborhood Facebook group. So Taylor, perfect example, created a neighborhood Facebook group for her neighborhood. This is phenomenal. So Taylor lived in a neighborhood, where she sent out a postcard to I think 800 and something homes. And she did that twice. And she created a Facebook group and invited all the people in that neighborhood to that Facebook group. And Taylor, I don't know if you're still on here or not, but if you are, even if you put it in the chat or even unmute yourself, how many people actually joined your Facebook group?
Now I have close to 500 in the group.
How many?
500.
So you have over 500 people in the group. And how many postcards did you send out?
I sent out 2 sets of 800.
So there's 800 people in the neighborhood and 500 joined the group.
Yep.
Crazy. So guys, that's just another way to do it. So let's say you're a part of a neighborhood, or you want to be able to farm a neighborhood and own that neighborhood. get all the addresses, send out a postcard, invite them to a neighborhood Facebook group if they don't have one, and then add value from there. Obviously, we don't have a ton of time today to go into how you do that. That's definitely one of the things for those of you guys that are joining the prospecting boot camp that we cover. Number 12, keep you up to date on future sales, okay? Keep you up to date on future sales. So let's just say people are in the neighborhood and you say, hey, how would you like to be kept up on future sales? Would that be of value to you? Okay. And then last but not least, number 13, go live and get footage while you're out there for future social media. Okay. Go live and get footage while you're out there for future social media. Guys, these are really best practices and the ways to get out there and do door knocking. Now, obviously, we're limited on time, right? This is only really an hour class today. And so, it's hard to give you guys all the nuts and bolts, but I'm sure you guys have an understanding here. So there's a couple of things I want to do right now. Number one, if you have found value in what you've learned today and you're taking something away that I shared of value, drop a 777 in the chat, okay? You learned something, you're taking something of value. Awesome, because I want to make sure, with Jeff trusting me to run this webinar and him not being here, that you guys got something of value. Number two, and Taylor, could you put this in the chat, guys? If you want a copy of our script book, the just listed, the just sold, the hot buyer, no inventory script, the expired, the for sale by owner script, you can right now pull out your cell phones and text the word scripts to 55444. It's right there in the chat. Text the word scripts to 55444. Okay, text the word scripts to 55444. And for those of you guys that I saw some of you guys saying, hey, I'm looking to get into the prospecting boot camp. Guys, if you found value in today's session, how would you like 16 weeks of value like this? Our next prospecting boot camp, and I think Taylor's pulling it up right now. Our next prospecting boot camp starts in February. And I have a class that I teach here at Glover U for 16 weeks on all the different ways to prospect. And so if you're looking to sell more homes in 2024 and you want to learn all the different strategies, all the different tips, all the different tricks, and you want it to learn from yours truly, guys, I want you to join this class, okay? Who's this class for? Anybody that wants to sell more homes in 2024. It's a Zoom meeting just like this on Mondays, 2 p.m. Eastern for 16 weeks, okay? We cover all the strategies, all the tips. We're going to learn the 4 different personality styles. We're going to learn how to overcome every objection. We're going to role play. You're going to be in a class with other like-minded people, and we're going to do script work together. We're going to work on mindset, because mindset is the biggest thing that keeps us back from doing what we know we're supposed to do. So if you want to learn how to overcome your fear of rejection, you want to learn how to get out there and talk to more people, you want to learn all the different ways to prospect, then guys, this class is for you. How would you like to learn the 25 different sources of business that Jeff and his team use to sell 1,000 homes a year? Guys, that's one of them. We're going to talk about social media. We're going to talk about database. We're going to talk about everything. It's a 4-month class, and it's a $399 cost per month commitment. So the cost of the class is $400 a month for 4 months. So the total cost is $1,600. And so let me ask you this question. How many listings would you need to take to recoup $1,600? How many listings would you need to take and close to recoup $1,600? Guys, I believe this class, the investment into this class, you can't afford not to if you want to sell more homes in 2024, okay? I would love to have you guys in our prospecting boot camp. It's going to be an absolutely incredible class. Now, one more thing, guys, stick with me for 2 more minutes and then we're wrapping it up, okay? 2 more minutes and we're wrapping it up. Many of you guys are already committed and plan to be joining us in Phoenix next month at our 2024 Live Unreal Summit. If you've never been to one of our conferences, guys, you're in for a treat, because this is going to be the best one that we've had yet. Next month in Phoenix, guys, we are going to have some of the most incredible agents on stage with us. If you've never been to our event, guys, we have 3.5 days of top producer panels. We have keynote speakers. We have breakout classes. we have the best of the best coming to Phoenix next month for our Live Unreal Summit. Again, if you guys have never been there, you're going to literally learn everything that you need to have a big business in 2024. Damon John's coming. Guys, it's not just a rah-rah session. It literally is 3.5 days full of so much great content. So if you learned something today, or if you've been on these webinars over the last several weeks, guys, you're going to learn so much more. And for those of you guys that have never been there, we've prepared a quick video for you guys to watch because we really want you to be there. Go ahead and roll it, Taylor.
If you want to go from X to 2X, you have to make a change in your business. If you want to go from X to 5X or even 10X, you need to make a change in your life, and you need to start now. There's a reason why top producers are always getting to the best real estate conferences.
I've been to many conferences throughout my 12-year career, and this is one of the best I've ever attended.
If you want to be a millionaire, you have to hang around millionaires.
They're selling real estate at a high level, they're very successful, and these are definitely the people you want to be around.
So this is an opportunity for you to get out of your everyday environment and hang around people who are where you want to be.
Not only are they coaching it, but these guys are doing it.
The reality is that only 10% of real estate agents survive in this business, and even fewer thrive. Why should you follow me and come to our Live Unreal Summit? Because I'm in the trenches with you, taking listings, going on appointments, and selling homes. I know what it takes to go from X to an unreal life, and it is my personal mission to take you there. No other real estate coach in North America sells as much as I do.
The exponential growth that I've seen since I started with Glover U has been incredible.
And we'll be sharing the lead generation, the lead conversion, social media, listing, buyer, and database value propositions, digital marketing, video, and so much more.
The intimate setting of just top agents from all over. We are definitely Glover lovers.
You'll hear from over 30 top agents from across North America. As main stage panelists, we'll have breakout sessions, masterminds, one-on-one interviews, and we get to have some fun too. You can stay and enjoy everything that Sheraton Grand Wild Horse Pass has to offer. Between golf, the pool, spa, kayaking, everything's on site. Bring your team in early and take advantage of the Sunday Fun Day activities and all that the resort has to offer. Your future in this business rests on the commitments you make today. So what are you waiting for? We'll see you this January.
Guys, next month, it's going to be an absolutely incredible conference. My first one changed my life 4 years ago, and that's why I'm here today with the opportunity to even share this with you. January 15th through the 18th at the Sheraton Grand Resort at Wild Horse Pass. And guys, this ticket is normally $500, but because you're here today, and if you decide that this is something that you want to join us for next month, you get $100 off today for being in attendance for this webinar. But you got to sign up right away, and you can use the code Justin100 for $100 off, guys. And I promise you this, if you're ready to take your business to the next level, if you want 2024 to be different than 2023, what are you going to do differently in order to invest into yourself and your business to make it happen? Join us next month. There's going to be over 1,000 people there, 1,000 real estate agents just like you and I, hungry, motivated, and ready for a great 2024. And you don't want to miss it, guys. It's going to be amazing. We're so grateful that you guys spent your Monday with us. Thank you so much for showing up today. I can't wait to see you guys in Phoenix next month, and I can't wait to see you guys in the Prospecting Bootcamp in February. God bless you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Merry Christmas and happy holidays.